Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Our special thanks today to Arctic IT and ServiceNow for the webinar, for sponsoring this today. Our presenters, Bill, Eduardo, and Kevin. This session will be recorded on TribalHub.com. So if anybody who missed it, or if you want to share it with any of your team members, absolutely, you'll get a copy of it after the session today, and it will also be on TribalHub.com. A couple of learning objectives to take away. While you're looking or watching the slides, understand how lighter weight technology can create simplicity for your organization. And going to be talking about how you can bring field service issues to the forefront of tribal technology solutions and improve the processes. During the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to use the chat or that Q&A box to put in any of your questions, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Other than that, I think I'm done with my part, so I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Great. Thanks very much, Michelle. Appreciate the introduction. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared out here. So as Michelle mentioned, I'd like to say first thanks to TribalHub for allowing us to be presenters in this webinar. It's always great to be with the TribalHub community, and TribalNet is one of my favorite events of the year, probably actually my very favorite event of the year, just to be with the community that I've gotten associated with through this group. So really awesome to be here representing Arctic IT, and we've got some great folks who are guests here today. I'm going to go ahead. There we go. Context. So as we mentioned, I'm Bill Travitz, and I am the director of travel business for Arctic IT. Most recently, I was with the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, which is where some of you may know me from the TribalHub community. And we have two great folks here today from ServiceNow, which they're going to be presenting the meat of today's presentation. Eduardo, Coelho, and Kevin's here with us. He's also representing ServiceNow. All right, today's presentation, this is the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit, very briefly, about Arctic IT and our partnership with it in the tribal space, and also our new and exciting partnership that we now have with ServiceNow. And then we're going to turn it over to Kevin, and he's going to talk about ServiceNow itself, give you some background information, talk about the solution that we're going to be looking at, which is field service. And then Eduardo will be taking over, and he's going to actually demo the solution for you. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm not going to take too terribly long on the next couple of slides, just to talk about our favorite two Huskies. This us being from Anchorage, Alaska, we like the Huskies. So, but the partnership that works for you, that's us. We're partnering with ServiceNow, and we're also partners with the tribes that we work in. So we have over 15 years of experience in the tribal space, and we are also 100% native owned. So the next slide is going to show about the 85 different customers and what regions of the country that we have in the tribal community. So that's it for that, and let's go right on into the exciting part about this. So many of you are aware that our Arctic IT has a suite of products called tribal platforms. And I'm not going to belabor that point either. That and Dynamics 365 implementations are the two sweet spots that we've been in. But now with this new partnership with ServiceNow, we're super excited about it, because it's going to allow us to get into a whole bunch of areas that we just really haven't been able to dive into. And today's subject is going to be the one in the upper right there, field service management. So without further ado, Kevin's going to do some introduction into ServiceNow and what the product actually does, and give you the background on it. So I'm going to turn it over to Kevin, and thank you very much. And Kevin, you're on, sir.
Thank you very much, Bill. Great introduction, and I appreciate the opportunity to join you and the rest of the folks here at Arctic IT, supporting your customers and our joint customers, expanding the capabilities of the mobile workforce. When we talk to customers, we focus on the ability to do work not only in the office, but at the point of need. So that oftentimes is the intersection between tribal members, tribal customers and tribal operations. And so there's really any place with an X and a Y coordinate, any place on the globe that needs to have work executed. That's really the capabilities that we're focusing on today. The challenges delivering work anywhere on the globe frequently are users work with multiple systems, and frequently these have siloed data stores, so that how forces the users to do manual work from moving information from one system to another system and to another system. And that's inefficient and often is riddled with errors. The other challenge is the lack of talent. So the skilled resources that require folks to do the right job at the right time, the right task with the right skill set. And it's not only difficult to keep people, but to recruit people. And how do you bring new staff and folks and technicians up to speed eloquently and quickly with the right skills? You need to give them the tools they need, the knowledge, the information, the guidance. And then the last challenge that we frequently see is, how do you plan? How do you orchestrate all of these challenges working with multiple systems, multiple data sets, multiple individuals, multiple requests? How do you orchestrate holistically, soup to nuts, cradle to grave, from the beginning to the end, to deliver a frictionless experience for anyone who needs work done in the field? So that's really the difference with ServiceNow, is the ability to bring all of this workflow together and harmonize it and leverage. On the far left of the screen could be a website, could be Bill, you mentioned earlier, Microsoft Dynamics portal, could be a sale, it could be any portal that the customers have in use today. The ability to go beyond just that one layer of engagement with focusing on the right side of the screen. This is where ServiceNow, we've got our strength with our workflow capabilities that can be either parallel or sequential. The ability to find the answer you need in that, I call it a bowl of spaghetti, because so frequently our customers are using manual tools like Outlook or sticky notes or fax machines or phone calls to find answers to questions, so that when a member submits a request, the member can reliably get the answer they need and know where the status is at any time they check. So the result of this experience is very, very poor, and oftentimes takes days or weeks to get something complex or common done. And with ServiceNow, the difference is that we can still use that far left screen, that omni-channel, where we can complement and fill in the gaps wherever there are gaps to fill, and deliver frictionless experiences to users, and allow those users to do self-service, allow those users to figure out the answers for themselves by introducing modern tools that all of us as citizens or users use today when we go shopping at leading retail sites. But the difference is that our task capabilities far outweigh the ability for you to identify immediately where that request is, where it's moving second in its life cycle, and what's preventing it from getting done. Or leadership can actually have insight into the key performance indicators so that they can make decisions based upon the work flowing or the work not flowing through their organization. But at any time, this allows the user or the agent supporting the user to turn back to figure out the answer, or here's where that window or that air conditioner is going to be serviced. We're going to schedule that at your convenience by using modern tools, including a digital self-service catalog, or even proactively giving communication out to the member or the members who are impacted if there is a power outage or a flood or any type of incident that needs to be alerted. The proactive capabilities of ServiceNow enable the member to get great service from the tribe, but also to not call in and say, hey, there's no electricity, what's going on? So that deflects calls, that improves productivity, and that of course drives down resources, because those folks can focus on solving those problems in hours and days, which as a result drives up satisfaction, drives up improvements in first contact resolution, drives up the productivity of everyone, not only the member that you're serving, but also the workforce who's supporting the member. Everyone gets more proactive or prudent in their day because they've got really good tools to use that manage workflow. And then the ability for that technician to focus on solving those problems that that technician is trained for and reduce the administrative burden. I do call it a burden because they need to plan, execute, track, and then report out all of the work they have done. The ability to do that on a mobile device that they're probably already using today really is a great attribute of field service management from ServiceNow. When Eduardo and I chat with customers about best practices, we find, the goal, of course, is to start with the customer in mind. So provide that effortless level of service engagement, the ability to give customers access to a personalized portal, give them the ability to manage the scheduling of the repair or the requested repair, and then give them a window into the status of all of that work getting completed. And include technician updates. Hey, we'll be with you in 30 minutes. We're 2 miles away, or there's a roadblock. We can't get to you. We'll be with you in an hour, or we can reschedule. The next best practice is to give those technicians easy to use tools that they're going to do their best work. So that means giving them access to the required task at hand, the parts that they are going to be required to use to execute that task, give them any service history. So if they're updating air conditioning, when was the last time service was executed and who did that? And what notes were the last technician left? So I can see that when I show up to service that HVAC as an example. And then help them manage all of that work. It's complex to be a technician. So the more you can streamline those workflows for delivering that great care on site and helping them plan their routes, helping them plan their travel. And then also when work is complete, don't force them to use other tools to report out the great job they just did. Let all of that work collectively execute in front of them on that same screen that they're holding or probably working from. And Eduardo will show this to you in a demonstration, the ability even to capture the customer's signature to identify that the customer is supportive of the work done and happy with the results. That's the ability to arm the technicians with the easy to use tools. And then don't just limit all that workflow to the technicians, connect that to the entire organization. And that's really the strength of case management or enterprise case management, the ability for you to connect the organization, customer service, field service, and beyond. And therefore, anyone can have insight into any request being made or delivered to any member or organization as needed. And that's really the strength of the ServiceNow platform as we see it. And when we take looks at the other capabilities that come with field service management, I know this is a lot to look at on the slide, but there's a lot of things that field service management from ServiceNow can accomplish. And the goal of this is to really focus on the most important asset, which is the people. So delivering frictionless experiences to those people you're serving and that you are delivering that work, to schedule all of the workforce and the work planning for those people, and to manage them correctly so that they're not showing up late or there's not a duplicity of assignments. And then how do you empower your workers to do the best job? So job execution and qualifying their skills and validating that they've done it correctly. And then, of course, reporting out all of that great work that you just did. All of those data and the insights from those key performance indicators, those are really what ServiceNow Field Service Management can do out of the box. Another way to look at it is really the demand, the service or the break fixes, the ability to set up proactive monitoring. So every 6 months, you've got to inspect the HVAC, you've got to change the filters, et cetera, et cetera. You can schedule all of that work in the future or on demand through field service management. And now some of that work is beyond what you are scheduling. It has to do with project management. So the nice thing about ServiceNow is the ability to integrate with other modules. So we've got capabilities to support large projects, construction projects, deconstruction projects, and to integrate all of those tasks that have to be executed in the field. That's that holistic platform for end-to-end service management that field service management plays such a critical role in aligning the right resources to the right skill set, to the right location, aligning them with the correct inventory and the knowledge to do the job the first time, Our workflow capabilities allows organizations such as tribal nations to honor service level agreements and track down costs and time figures and integrate into the existing systems of record they already may have, which might be Oracle. You see the logos at the bottom of the screen. It might be SAP. It might already be Microsoft Dynamics. So that's the beautiful thing about our story is it's never a rip and replace. It's always an augment or complement, and use the IT components that you already have today that are working well in your organization. And that will allow you to manage the work orders, the tasks, the schedules, the assignment of parts and managing those parts, and then reporting all of that holistically to your community of members. So what we're really talking about here is the ability to manage all of the assets, 360 degrees of that assets, from managing the inventory or even the procurement of those assets, planning to acquire those assets, where will they be stored, where will they be transferred, how will you manage loaners of those assets? These could be IT assets or non-IT assets. You see, I got a picture of an air conditioner compressor there. The ability to deploy those assets when they're required to be distributed, configured, and calibrated. And then, of course, servicing those assets throughout their useful life cycle and creating a really good experience for those users who are leveraging those assets or taking advantage of the air conditioner. It's always going to work because it's maintained correctly. And then once that air conditioner or that hot water tank or whatever other asset you're managing ends its useful life, how do you turn it in? How do you dispose of it correctly? And then shred and scrap or recycle any component from that asset. And then once that work is done, giving leadership the ability to go back and use that audit trail that's inherent with field service management and report out how many times that asset's been serviced, when it was disposed of, and who was involved in disposing it. So that audit trail of workflow exists in ServiceNow. And with that, there's a ton of use cases that we are seeing off the map that really focus on the capabilities of working with field service. It's managing infrastructure of any size, managing utilities, including water, electricity, whatever is important to manage. If it's a thing, a product or a service, we can help manage it, including inspections. So sending technicians out to do environmental inspections or managing permitting or managing licenses or even managing grants, going out to inspect something that needs to be approved of for that grant management. And then from an enterprise perspective, all of the work that goes with managing those enterprises. So there's a lot of investments with grounds maintenance, with construction, with fixed assets, building, heavy equipment, light equipment. If it's a thing, we can help you manage it better with ServiceNow. So with that, I'm going to turn the microphone over. We're going to have Eduardo walk through a demonstration of field service management from ServiceNow. Eduardo?
Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, let me share my screen here. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my name is Eduardo Coelho. I'm a solution consultant here at ServiceNow. And as Kevin was saying, I'm going to show you a few different ways on how you can leverage the ServiceNow platform to support those field service requests and work orders. So for the demo that I have prepared today, so I'm going to start here with our, we call it our customer portal. And this is the one place where all your users, your customers, tribal members can go to submit new requests, view information about the status of all their current requests, and ask questions, update their existing requests. So I'm already logged in to this portal as Samantha, but this is also available for guest users. So users, if they don't have an account, they don't want to create an account, they don't want to register, you can make information available for anyone that just wants to browse and look up for information. However, once they log in, if they have an account, what we can do is tailor the content of this portal to show information that's relevant to them. So based on their location, their job, their interest, you can display different content, different articles, publications, information on this portal that is applicable to what they they're looking for to what they need to do. So it makes it easier for them to find the information they need. They don't see a bunch of other request types and things that may not be relevant to those users. And also provides a better customer experience because they're seeing things that are important to them that they care about. We can also do things like display alerts or advisories. So here you can see on the top of my screen here, there's a boil water advisory that was issued. And you can create all of those alerts, those announcements, and display them to a specific subset of your users. So only certain regions are impacted by this issue, or only users who are using or subscribe to your water services need to see this alert. You can display those messages to only those specific users, and that makes it easier for them to only see the information they need. And also, if someone lives in a different location or is not interested in certain types of alerts, they're not going to see it. As well on this page, I mean, Samantha, she can update her profile. She can manage members of their household if she needs to submit requests for a spouse or children. So all of this can be done from this one place. And also we have a built-in search feature here. So if Samantha is having issues with her water heater and trying to figure out what can she get its service, can she get some support, like a water pipe that's leaking near her house, she can start a search and find information not only about like articles that may help her determine what the problem is, but also the different requests that she can submit to report a water or sewer issue and get someone onto her house or her location to look at it and repair that issue. And that's what I'll go here through what we call our service catalog. And this is a place where you can configure to display all the different service types that you want to make available to your users, so the tribal members or other internal users. And here you can have different categories for different service types. So from all the way from like water issues to like HVAC, facilities repair, any other type of like housing issue. You can support, I mean, any type of request that you want. And as I said before, once you're logged in, you can restrict what types of requests are available to that logged in user. So today I'm going to use this water sewer issue reporting as an example. But all of those different request types, they can have a separate form associated with that request type. So you can define all the different fields that show up on the request type based on the information that you need to collect to resolve that issue. And all the information can be dynamic. You can pull it from the user's profiles to make it easier for them to fill out the form and submit this request. One thing, this portal works on a mobile device as well. So I'm showing you here from my desktop, but if I were on my phone, I can pull up the same pages, same forms. And even the things like if I'm trying to add an attachment, I can take a picture with my phone and show exactly what the problem is. So that's very helpful in those request scenarios where maybe you don't have a specific location that you can provide, and just having a picture of what the problem is and where it is can help facilitate making sure the technician has the right equipment to solve it. They can find where the problem is, and don't have to come back or miss a visit because they didn't understand what the problem was in the first place. And here I can start adding some information about the issue. This here I can add the location on where the issue is. And again, if I were on my phone, this can be automated and it can pick your current location if you need to. And once all that information is filled out, I can submit this request. And what that's going to do is going to trigger a workflow that's going to assign this work order to the appropriate technician based on the location, the skill set that's required to fix this issue, and their availability. So it's going to try to find the best person to do the job that has the right skills, the right parts, the right equipment, and it's nearby. And it's going to attempt to schedule that automatically. So in most cases, this whole process is fully automated. There's no need for any manual intervention of someone to schedule those requests. It can all be done via a platform. And all that a manager or supervisor needs to do is essentially they can override any of those requests, or if a high priority issue comes up, they can push that and assign that to someone right away. So they can just help visualize all those requests and again also move requests around if needed to. But on this page here, what it gives the user is a way to communicate, ask questions, and see any status updates for this request. So Samantha, once she submits this request, she can get an email or text notification that the request was submitted with a link back to this page, and then she can always come back here, ask additional questions on what the status is, and also the technician can send updates back to Samantha and tell her once the problem has been fixed, or if they need additional information to resolve the problem. So I'm going to switch here to a view from a supervisor or dispatcher who's managing a team of those field workers, field technicians that need support a variety of different requests. So on this workspace view here, so now I'm logged into the system as Lisa. So I switch back from the end user portal now to the manager view. And what a manager or dispatcher can do is they can see a list of all their team members and view all the schedules, all the activities that have been assigned to each one of their team members. So this gives them one place where they can see everything all the work that's been planned for. They can look at it by day, week, or on a monthly view, and help ensure that everyone has work assigned. And also, like if someone needs to take a day off, or if you have to move tasks around, I can just drag and drop requests here on this interface, and I can reassign all those different activities to different technicians if needed. The same way, if I have on my left here, I have a list of all the items that are pending dispatch. So if a high priority request comes in, maybe that it's a water leak on a main line that needs to be resolved right away, I can also just assign those requests to a different technician and move things around so that someone can start working on it right away. So this here gives you a quick way to view what work is being done and also what helps you manage the day-to-day activities from all your technicians. You can also look at this in a mapping view here. And here I can look at a list of all the different tasks that have been requested, and also even the location of all the technicians. So if I can see all the different items, work items. And also for each technician, I can see if they're ahead of schedule, behind schedule, and that can help me realign like tasks. If something is taking longer than scheduled, I can see it here in this view, and I can reassign tasks that Ray had to work on, and then send it out to a different technician. So all of this, just an easy way for you to manage all the different tasks and help you organize the work for all your team members. And as Kevin mentioned, we also have on our platform hundreds of different KPIs and dashboards that come out of the box to help you track all the work and help you see trends and forecasts all the different items that you're working on. So this can help you identify any issues, see how long it's taking to resolve different work order tasks, and help you plan your workforce, the number of people you need in your team, right? So if you're seeing an increase in certain types of work orders or orders for a specific location, you can reassign additional team members to that region, and also forecast for future months, quarters on how much work you're expecting to get based on existing trends. System can also keep track of plan versus actual duration for each one of those work order tasks, so you can monitor and measure based on the type of request, the type of repair that's needed, how long you expected it to take versus how long it's taking for your technicians to perform those repairs, and that can help you ensure that they're following the right procedures, and if you see any large discrepancies in some of those metrics, that you can drill down on the data, see exactly what happened, and help address the problem before it becomes a bigger issue. And also wanted to show maintenance plans functionality. So users can submit requests for issues as they occur. So if there's a water leak or another issue with the air conditioning system, they can always go to the portal and initiate a request. But you can also create the planned maintenance schedules to create those work orders for specific maintenance services that are required for your equipment or any type of facility. So here I'm showing you an example for an HVAC equipment. You have 6-month and 12-month service checks that need to be performed. So what this maintenance plan does is that every 6 months and every year, it's going to automatically create a request, assign it to a technician so that they can go in to this equipment, make sure that they change the filters, they check all your assets, making sure that it's working as expected. And that also creates records associated with that asset. So you can always pull up for any of the equipment or facilities that you manage. You can pull up all the records and see exactly all the services that were performed on that asset, on that equipment, and all the maintenance that was performed. So if something breaks, something has having more issues than you expected, you can always see, go back and see if all the maintenance was performed, or if repeated repairs are needed for certain equipment. This can help you make a decision on whether we should repair or replace a specific item. And so this showed you here, so the portal, the manager interface, and some of the dashboards functionality. Now I'm going to switch to our mobile application and show you how that can help the technicians track and update their own work orders. So let me share here my mobile device. So now I'm sharing. So I'm showing my mobile device, and this is the application that your field workers or technicians can use to see a list of all the tasks that they're supposed to be working on that have been assigned to them. This application works in real time, or it can also work in offline mode. So lots of times, workers, technicians, they need to be in a remote location or in a basement in a building where they may not have internet access. So what they can do is before they leave the office for the day, in the morning, they can download a list of all the tasks that have been assigned to them and make updates on all those different items. And once they're back within range of a cell phone signal or internet signal, they can upload all those different task updates. So this, especially in remote areas, can be very helpful, that they don't have to write it down on a piece of paper and then update their computer later on. They can continue to do the work on the application and still function even without live internet access.
That's an important feature, Eduardo, especially in Indian country. Many reservations have remote unserved areas, both with cellular and internet service. So having that ability to be able to, store and forward, if you will, is a really great add for the solution.
Yeah, exactly, Bill. Yeah, and that's something, we see over and over. Like, it was a highly requested feature from our customers to have that ability. Not only they can see their task items, but also we have a built-in knowledge base here that works in offline mode as well. So this, they can, if they need to look up technical manuals for specific equipment, for specific procedures that they may not be familiar with, you can create those technical articles and have them available in this application. So while they're out on the field and they need to do some repair on an HVAC equipment or any type of asset that they need to repair, they can pull up those procedures, those diagrams, and figure out what they need to do even without an internet access. Going back to this application, so here I'm showing you a list of all the different tasks that have been assigned to Teddy, who's the technician, and in addition to having those tasks, we can also keep track of all the inventory that all your technicians are carrying. So I can see all of the different items that I have with me or in my truck. So I know exactly what I have, and if I need to get something else from a warehouse or a storage room, I can do that before I drive out to the customer site. And also I can look up part availability. So if I'm trying to find out a specific part, specific item that I don't have with me, I can do a search for that item, and this is going to show me all the different people or stock like nearby team members or storage rooms that may have that item. So even while I'm out on the field, I can still try to find what I need, and if someone on my team is near me, I can grab that part from him or her and continue to do my job without having to go back to the main office. And also if I can start new part requests. So if something is not in stock and needs to be ordered, I can submit those order requests directly from this application. And part of that can be automated. So you can monitor all your inventory levels, and if it falls below specific thresholds, you can automatically initiate those part requests and to make sure that you have what you need at all times, and you're not waiting for parts or having technicians not being able to do the work because you don't have the right parts or equipment. Once the task has been assigned to someone, so here I'm looking at all the tasks that Teddy is working on and has been assigned on. I can pull up one of those task records, and I have the ability to accept or reject each one of those items. So based on my schedule, if I know I'm going to be late for something or I'm not going to be able to complete a task, I always have the ability to reject it. Once I accept a task, it's going to start tracking all of the different times and activities related to that task. So I can do things like keep track of like travel time from between each location. And also once I'm at the location, I can track the work time. So the system is going to automatically track how long it's taking for each of the technicians to travel, to go do their job. And that can, again, help you with the metrics, measuring how effective they're being. Once I'm in here, the task page, I can look at all of the different activities, items that were associated with this request. And I can use this here to ask additional questions from the user. So if I need to ask Sam additional questions about what the issue, or if I can't find where the problem is, I can use this tool here to communicate with her, or have internal messages to my own team. So if I just want to send a message to my own team, I can do it from this tool as well. And as I mentioned before, I can keep track of all the different parts that were used as part of this job. So if I use this item here, I can attach it to this request, and all of that's going to be tracked. It's going to be removed from my inventory and added to this customer. So you can keep track of all the different parts, items, and including like things like incidentals as well. So if you need to track mileage costs or any other expenses, that can be done from within this tool here as well. And you can build reports to make sure that you're tracking and understand where all those expenses and incidentals are coming from. And another thing, you can also build questionnaires or checklists for certain activities. So based on the type of requests, the types of items that are being requested, I can have different checklists that guide the technician through a procedure, a checklist, to make sure they're being following all the right procedures and being consistent in how they're doing their work. And that also can be saved, recorded with this job request, so that if someone needs to review it, audit later on, they can see that they've done all the different checks, and safety procedures as needed while they're completing their work. So once I've done this, added all the different parts, completed my job, I can mark this. I can update the status of this task here, so I can mark this as complete. And if needed, I can do things like creating a follow-up task. So maybe I have to cut up the drywall to fix a leak on a pipe somewhere, and now someone needs to come in to repair the drywall. So I could create a follow-up task and automate that process, so that someone's going to be scheduled to come in and do that follow-up repair. Once I close this task, the customer, you can trigger an email to the customer. I can also capture their signature if they need to sign off and confirm that the work has been done. So I can capture their signature directly from this application, and automatically generate a PDF form with all the details of all the work that's been done, any parts that were used, any other notes, remarks on this document that can be emailed for the user. Also, they can go back to the portal and view this document, so that they'll have a permanent record of what work was done, all the details about that work, and any other expenses that were associated with that work. So this here concludes the demo part of our presentation today. So I think stop the sharing here. I think Bill had a few additional slides with some information he wanted to share.
Yes, thanks very much. So thanks, Eduardo, the very informative demonstration. So one of the things that I did not mention early on in the webinar was that as director of IT at the Eastern Band of Cherokee, we were ServiceNow customers, and they still are. So one of the things that we're going to do is a Q&A here. After we talk a little bit about this slide, here's a link that you can go if you want to get additional information from Arctic IT. As we mentioned earlier, Arctic is a partner with ServiceNow, which means we can help tribes and other organizations to install, configure, and set up ServiceNow to your specific workflows. And one of the things that was really great about ServiceNow, we used it in the IT service management side, was the customizability of the workflows. So that's all things that a partner can help you set up and change because of the platform that it is. And I'm going to throw a question over here in just a moment as far as platform as a service and all of that. I did want to do one quick pitch. We have another webinar coming up on May 11th, talking about tribal member management. And then we're off to the questions. So the first question to the folks from ServiceNow is talk a little bit about, if you don't mind, a little bit about the platform as a service, a notion of ServiceNow, that this is a module on top of it, and what are the strengths of that type of a platform?
Sure, great question. So you mentioned that there's a customer that already has an existing instance up and running and churning out workflow management. The capabilities of the platform as a service, or that adding a module such as field service management as an example, is relatively simple because it's already there. It's just dormant. So once the licenses are available, essentially you enable that module, in this case field service management, on the instance that the customer already has running. So Bill, the value is a quicker time to market. The ATO is already there. The infrastructure is already there. It's already running. All you need to do is build the workflows into the module, like field service management as an example. But you're able to really realize much quicker time to value because you've already got this thing running in your environment, which is ServiceNow. So There's, I don't know, a dozen or more modules at ServiceNow, from our employee workflows, our customer workflows, our IT workflows. They all run on ServiceNow, and that's really our another feather in our cap, the ability for customers to take advantage of much quicker times to value.
Thanks, Kevin. So the platform is incredibly robust, particularly since you guys got your start in IT service management. I know that's not the subject of today's thing, but one of the things that we found was there was so much in the product that you didn't necessarily need. And one of the beauties of the way the platform works is it's very simple to simplify that for the workflows that you need, or customize it to a specific set of processes that your particular tribe would use that may be unique to you, based upon either code or legal requirements. Who knows? All those things are different across Indian country. So a great feature for that. Michelle, do we have any other questions come in during the?
Yeah, I had two come in, and this one maybe kind of goes off of what you were just talking about, but it's asking with, how could this work with an existing technology that the tribe may already have. They didn't necessarily say what exactly that is, but I'm not sure if that is.
That's enough to go on, Michelle.
Okay, all right, good.
The nice thing about ServiceNow is there's never a need to throw out and start fresh. We would, of course, love that, but in reality, that doesn't work. So oftentimes customers have existing IT investments that are working, or they just need a gap filler, or they need something on top of that working IT investment. That's the beauty of ServiceNow. It's a layer of engagement, a system of action. It can integrate with those systems that are in place today, working beautifully. We've got a tool called Integration Hub, which just means it's a bunch of pre-built spokes that can integrate with other tools, Oracle, other logos, Salesforce, Microsoft. It doesn't matter to us if it's SAP as that core system of record, but it enables, Michelle, these customers to use ServiceNow as that engagement layer, that system of action, what you see on the screen, a mobile device. It's really simple to manage workflow in ServiceNow and then integrate with those existing tools.
Cool. And then the next one is asking about a time frame, putting this actually in the field, from launching it, execution, all those pieces with the technology team, and actually getting it in the field.
Yeah, obviously the devil's in the details, and that always matters about the customers. The biggest challenge that Eduardo and I see with federal customers is acquisition. Let's assume that we're talking about once the purchase order is signed and the instance is then turned on in 24 hours. The technology is much quicker than the acquisition process, but we're working on that. The ability for customers to see value within 8 to 12 weeks is real. And we had a customer, one of our larger DoD customers, modernize their workflow experience using some of the tools that Eduardo talked today. And they saw an initial instance, portal, workflows, and work management within 12 weeks, which is lightning fast for federal customers, even more lightning fast for Department of Defense. So we're not talking about a 12-month deployment cycle. We're talking about sprints, and that first sprint could be 8 to 12 weeks if the licensing is ready, the instance is ready, the business requirements are ready, and the partner like Arctic IT is ready to deploy it to meet those deadlines.
That's great. I mean, this is something that then somebody could start working on now and have it done, by fourth quarter. So that's really cool.
By the end of July, correct.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
That tracks with my experience as well. Real world experience there with the Eastern Band. Just being able to get a fairly complex product customized and into production in that short a time frame is pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any other questions. If anybody has another follow-up question, just pop it in the chat or the Q&A that you've been using. So you guys, thank you so much. I have to say that the last webinar that we did with you guys, this one, I love seeing like the demo so people on the call can actually see it And then, other people can be like, we can reference it, right? To go back and say, hey, they did a demo in here. You can look through it. So that's really cool. I love that you guys are doing that. Anybody on the call who wants to reach out to Eduardo, Bill, or Kevin, I put their emails in the chat. You can also see them here. Feel free to reach out to us here at TribalHub. If you guys, don't remember or have an extra question, you need to get a hold of them. We definitely will make that connection for you. Again, we will send this video to you guys by tomorrow afternoon. So you'll have that to share with anyone else on your team who you might want to, who maybe couldn't attend today and want to share that to. So, Bill, any last parting words for us today?
No, I don't think so. I did want to mention one thing that is really great about the platform. It's in the IT parlance, it's called low code, no code, which means you're not when you're doing your customizations, it's done with mouse drags and clicks and things of that nature. So it's very frictionless in order to make those modifications. And then another really neat feature about it is the machine learning that's inside of it, which I don't know if one of the two of you wants to quickly address before we sign off.
Yeah, I can give a, yeah. So we have AI and machine learning models built into our application. So throughout many different functions of it, but it's usually it helps to analyze the data. We can do things like grouping together similar requests, estimating time to completion based on historical trends. And also we have a virtual assistant as well that can help you answer user questions as well, using natural language and machine learning to identify the intent of the user and guide them through a set of questions on how to do something, how to solve a problem. But that's something that ServiceNow has been investing in for a long time and looking for ways to make it easier for users to use the platform and for customers to find what they need.
Thanks, Eduardo. Hey, thanks everyone for coming and attending. It's a pleasure to be here. Really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to bring this information to you. It's a super cool platform, and we're very excited here at Arctic IT to be able to offer these services to our friends in the tribal space. So thanks to TribalHub, and thanks to my friends from ServiceNow, Eduardo and Kevin. And with that, I'll give it back to you, Michelle, for the wrap.
Right. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thanks everybody on the call, and we will talk to you all soon.